Hi, my name is Michael Jeffrey Peters, and this is another video about some papers that I put on the internet. And you can see by this paper here, again, that the judge had appointed his realtor friend for 30 years to exclusively sell my property. And his name is James Douglas Squire. Now, Judge Squire came in. This divorce proceeding has been reset 5 times. It's been over a year in the making. Um, and Judge Gilbert, after denying all my motions, I mean, he wouldn't even let me go to court to present them until we had about 7 or 8 motions, and so he just piled them all together and denied them all at one time. I guess that saves the court's time. And then denied all the witnesses, saying that I could afford to pay all this money to have these witnesses brought to court, which I absolutely could not afford. I wasn't working. There's no way I can afford. But he found that I wasn't indigent, and that was his way of taking all the witnesses. So there's always that little clause, or even though there's no way I had that money, I have right now, I mean, $3 in pennies. So I didn't have much more then. At any rate, this judge comes in at the end, this Esquire judge, and forces the sale of the land. It's 5 1/4 acres. Now, my neighbors, Carl and Mr. Orsack, bought their land. Mr. Orsack bought his for $23,000. His 1 acre. Carl bought his for $21,000. I have 5 1/4 acres, and that's the judge's friend selling it for $103,000, which makes sense. Say if you're selling it for $20,000 an acre. But I have $30,000 in fence. I have a house, a bump house, a guest house, a bathhouse in the back of the property, a bathroom, I mean, with a shower, and of underground electrical and plumbing throughout the property, pole lighting everywhere. There's 3 culverts that I paid for to access to the property. There's an aerobic system, 4-bedroom home, brand new, a well 306 feet deep, and a bridge that goes in between the 3 acres and the 2 1/4 in the back. Now, my son has cancer, and you know, my wife had a brain tumor removed during these proceedings, and lost some of her memory and her ability to drive. Well, she could have stayed on the 3 acres with a house and everything, and we could have easily put a fence up, and I could have stayed at the 2 1/4 acres in the back. That would have been fair. My son would have had the land that he loved and the house that his dad built for him. But this judge wanted to make his friends give them some commission or something and pay the courts, the 418th District Court, for they want me to pay like $6,000 for all these witnesses that I was subpoenaing the court, or $6,700, and obviously I didn't have $6,700. So go figure. And I have to pay for my wife's 2 attorneys, her legal aid attorney, and her immigration family lawyer, because the immigration lawyer is there to get her green card. And this is why my wife, one of the reasons she never came back, because she wants a green card. She lied on her immigration application. She's been waiting 14 years. Her sister is from El Salvador, and there was a war between El Salvador and Honduras. And America opened some political asylum for them to come over. Well, her sister didn't lie and got her green card in 4 years, and my wife still doesn't have a green card. So there you have a little issue there, but nonetheless, my property, Century 21, just months before, this judge, his realtor, put it up for $103,000, appraised my land and house at $180,000. Now that's easy to find out. It's in the records. So why? I mean, later, I took it off the listing because it was too little. I mean, I went to Iraq for 3 years and earned that money. And the building materials I bought and built the house, so I didn't pay for construction costs. Okay, but I did pay for the well, the bridge, the septic system, which is $30,000, and $30,000 in fence. There's $163,000, if you like, with what they're selling the property for itself now. But there's also the house and the guest house and the pump house and the bathroom building in the back. The infrastructure, clearing the property took me 13 months. And the culverts, all this is given away absolutely free. And this quick sale, so the judge, this Esquire who came in at the very last, could sell it, force the sale, and give exclusive rights for that sale to Brent and Nancy Rollins at Caldwell Bankers in Waller, Texas. Now, I can't help but think this is some kind of a racket. I mean, what kind of judge, and they were sitting there in the courtroom during that proceeding. I didn't know who they were. I mean, not Brent, but Nancy was. And when I asked her later on the phone, I said, well, how do you know the judge? Oh, we've known him for 30 years. Well, I just can't help but think, well, just how many times has this judge forced the sale of land and gave the exclusive rights to his friends of 30 years? I mean, I've never really heard of anything so unethical for a judge. But he seems like some profiteering's going on here. I mean, my mind is just wandering. I just can't help but think that, and this judge, I wanted to say this, while he was scratching everything out and adding things and scratching out the medical neglect and all that other stuff, he also scratched out that he changed the date that I had to be out of the property. He said I could stay there for my last Christmas, and he's forcing me out a month early. I just can't help that he had a Christmas bonus in mind. You know, Brent and Nancy Rollins get their commission on a $103,000 sale, quick sale, for a property with the improvements of about $203,000. It seems to me that the Rollins, if they got their commissions for selling that property so fast, that there was going to be a party at the Rollins house, and I bet you anything Judge Esquire was going to be there. Now, I'm just guessing here, but this seems pretty unethical to me. And, I mean, I don't care about forcing me out before Christmas. That probably just made the judge happy. But what about my son and wife? She doesn't get any benefits here. She lives off my son's SSI benefits, who has cancer. And a friend of hers who's given her maybe some work doing arts and crafts for elderly people. But my wife hadn't never done anything but clean a house every now and again. I'm the sole supporter of my family. My wife didn't put a penny in on any of that property. Not that I'm really bitching about it, because I love my family, and my life was dedicated to making something nice for them. She lived in an old trailer on 10-wheel of 45. It sold, when we sold it, it sold for $5,000. So that ought to tell you something right there. So you go from $5,000 to, you know, a place that at least Century 21 says $180,000. I know what I paid for it, and I know because I'm a builder, and I had to hire contractors for the fence, the well, the septic, and the bridge. I built the structures on it, as I built a garage loft across the street because the neighbor liked the way I was building my place so much, he wanted me to build his garage loft. Well, he paid me good money for that. Well, this judge couldn't help but put in, that if I wasn't at the house there for, 14 days, that they could sell it quicker. They can't wait to get their money for the court, money for my wife's immigration lawyer and legal aid lawyer, and the judge said I'm not working. I have about $3 in pennies right now, and I didn't have much more then when I was subpoenaing these witnesses. But the judge says that I wasn't indigent, and now they want me to pay $6,700 for these subpoenas, court costs. Well, go figure. If I had $6,700, I would have had a lawyer, and he to represent me. And I guess these people, when you don't have any money, the game is just steal everything you've got and call it, a divorce, and this is what we do in divorces. Forget about my son who's got cancer and he was happy at that house. Forget about my wife with her brain tumor and memory loss. And forget about me who risked his life in Iraq for 3 years, paying for it, and then buying the building materials and building everything. 8 years of my life. And you can imagine $103,000 when I'm paying 65% of that to my wife. I'm paying also for her 2 lawyers, the court costs, and $6,700 for these witnesses that I didn't get. All those were squashed. All the motions I tried to put in the court were squashed. I couldn't even get a court date. When I finally did, there was about 7 motions there, squashed all at once. So there's a lot more to this going on, which is all over those other postings. But this is the end of it here. Finishing off the finale with a forced sale of the property to the judges' friends, Brent and Nancy, at Caldwell Bankers and Wall for half the price. I'm putting these videos out there in hopes that somebody is a lawyer, wants to help with this doctor who lied in the medical records. Even the judge crossed that out, which is on the other postings. There's no neglect. There was no reason why I couldn't have joint custody of my son. That's all they had. Just the doctor's lie. Of course, that's also on the postings, and you can see that she lied in the medical records, said I told her I'm going to give my son one med for 4 weeks out of the 2 months I had him, and said I told her that. But at 8:45 a.m., she had already filed that, in the medical report, and then my appointment, she actually saw me after the lab results because she wrote all over them and handed them to me after 12. 30 minutes later, over 30 minutes later. So, go figure. Once again, this is Michael Peters, and I'm trying to get my son back. I'm trying to get some justice, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop these people from selling my land because it's court ordered, but I like to expose them for what they've done, and this doctor. So, please look at these videos and be patient with me because I'm not very good at these videos. I get excited about getting this evidence out to you, and it upsets me what's happening to my son, and I'm stealing his father through this lie and selling off my land for half price. The land is worth 103, but just giving away the house, the fence, the well, the septic, the bridge, everything that I've done for 6.5 years building it. But I've been working on getting that land for 8 years. And I don't have a penny to my name, and these people are happy to take advantage of that I can't afford an attorney. Um, if anybody out there feels like they'd like to help Dalton and I'd appreciate your input, suggestions, your prayers, or any time. God bless you all. This is Michael Jeffrey Peters.